So we're on to day 3 of sounding like Phil Jackson. Scotty. So the Minnesota Fighting Vikings have had an amazing relationship with Louisiana State University, LSU, in terms of Danielle Hunter. For that, we thank you. Some guy named Justin friggin' Jefferson, as well as Patrick Peterson. But now, why stop there? Like, go full all in on LSU. We'll work on that branding and sign Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, free agent safety, jack of all trades in the secondary in free agency, as well as draft Derek Stingley Jr., the pride of LSU, in the first round in the upcoming draft. Why not? Why not? Go full Vikings, LSU, slot machine, 777. Of course, I for my money, LSU is the best defensive back school in college football, bar none. And historically, their lead dog in the defensive back room, number 7, has donned that jersey. Patrick Peterson did it. Honey Badger did it. And Derek Stingley has worn the number for the last couple seasons as well. So why not? Why the hell not? Also got Durante Jones, last year's LSU defensive coordinator, who's back as Vikings DB coach. Why not? Go full-on Baton Rouge up here in the great state of Minnesota. So with Honey Badger, so I understand, like, he is going to be 30 years old in May. He's already got a Super Bowl ring, but the Chiefs cut him loose in a cap-saving move, and I think Honey Badger right now, he's more about respect than the money, but also some of the money too, sure. And the Vikings, they're keeping the band together. They want to go all in on the season. They think that they can get something done in 2022. And yeah, I do believe in Cameron Bynum. I do think that Harrison Smith has some good football left in him. But when has getting more talented players, especially at a position of need in the secondary, ever been a bad thing? Because Honey Badger, he could play free safety, he could play in the slot, he could play in the box, he could play at corner, he could do a lot of things. Also, it could free up Cameron Bynum to potentially play a little bit more slot or corner, like he was fantastic at Cal. So I think that this would be a lot of fun. Now, cost-wise, he's not going to get top-tier safety money, especially at this stage of the game. I think that he may not sign anywhere until after the draft. But the Vikings still do have cap space. They'll have about $4 or $5 million in space. They can still redo Brian O'Neill. They can still restructure Dalvin Cook. So if they want to bring Honey Badger aboard, which Patrick Peterson, we know, is a fantastic recruiter. Plus his ties with LSU run deep. So I'm sure that he's had some words with Honey Badger before. I'm sure that he's taken on sort of a mentor-mentee type role, especially with their time in Arizona. So yes, I think bring him on in, because Honey Badger don't give an F. He's the only Badger that I can stand. There you go. And then Stingley. So Stingley is a bit polarizing in terms of where his draft outlook is going to be. If he was able to declare after his true freshman season, 2019, LSU won that national title, he may have been a top 3 selection. Like, he was that good. But the last 2 years, some injuries and some questions about his caliber of play. But I think that he is certainly a top-tier cornerback. I think he certainly is up there with Sauce Gardner, Trent McDuffie, Booth Jr., etc. And it would make sense for the Vikings at 12, where it could be a marrying of BPA, best player available, as well as a position of need for the Vikings at corner. And Stingley, with the tutelage of Patrick Peterson, LSU connection is strong there as well. I think that he could work to become one of the better cornerbacks in the league, a true blue alpha dog cornerback 1, and of course the connections with Durante Jones, because don't sleep on that. So Durante Jones, who was the Vikings DB coach in 2020, was the LSU defensive coordinator in 2021. So he has coached Stingley. And of course, him having a defensive background, he's going to know the ins and outs of Stingley. He got to see him every single day in practice, in team meetings, so he knows what sort of vibe that he will bring, like this sort of inside information that you rarely get. So it makes sense. Like, if Durante Jones signs off, the scouts sign off, if Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell are on board and Ed Donatel loves it, I think that Stingley does have a chance to be a phenomenal player in this league. And Patrick Peterson is on board. In his YouTube video where he said he was coming back yesterday, him and Brian McFadden, Will Raggets, are discussing the possibility of the Vikings drafting Derek Stingley Jr. in the first round. P-squared, if he's there, I think it would be the perfect match. Reminds me a lot of myself when I was in school. LSU connection is strong, man. So just imagine this. Just imagine how much fun you could have on the back end of this defense. Ed Donatel, Durante Jones, and just getting things going. Plus, pair that up with that hellacious pass rush and that amazing front 7. So you got P-squared and Stingley. You got Dancer, Harrison Hand, Sean Don, Chris Boyd. And then in this at the safety spot, you got Harrison, you got Honey Badger, you got Bynum. Wow. Play all 3 of the safeties, by the way, at the same time. So, man, but we can dream. But logically, it does make sense. The Vikings do have the cap space. They do have the motivation. They could potentially get something done with Honey Badger. And Stingley very certainly could be there at 12. So do we go LSU 7-7-7? Skull SU? It's close enough. It's close enough, man. But we dream. We dream. Your thoughts are our thoughts. Should the Vikings go full LSU in the secondary? Yes. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull, production value.